If you saw my last video, you know that we're talking about this demon that wants to drag you underneath the bed. So if you don't want to hear about that, keep scrolling. But if you're part of the ghost gang, stick around. So in my last video, I told you about this story about this woman whose child kept hearing something under the bed and then was getting like dragged under the bed. And something very similar happened to my own dad. And this is a completely true story. So I'm pretty sure this was just after my parents' divorce and my dad was staying at my grandparents because we'd moved out of state and then we moved back. It was like a whole thing. And this is kind of where all the haunted stuff started in my family now that I think about it. So my grandparents, when you walked into their house, they had like one of those doors that close into the wall, and in between that was a hallway and two rooms. There's a room on one side and a room on the other side. The room on one side was my grandparents and the other side was a guest bedroom. All of the kids, always, all of the cousins, everyone was scared of that one bedroom. There was also a motion detector light that would go off randomly when there was no motion to be detected. So my dad is sleeping in there one night. He wakes up suddenly in the middle of the night. Something reaches up from underneath the bed and grabs his arm, grabs it really tight, and starts trying to pull him underneath the bed. And he's fully awake. This is not a dream. He's fully awake. It's pulling him underneath the bed, and he's like fighting it to get out. He gets back on top of the bed. He's a grown man. This is a full adult being dragged under the bed by some kind of demon or whatever. There were literally marks on his arm the next day from whatever that was. So then when he gets another place for all of us to live, because we just moved back to the state, of course, he moves us into a haunted house, of course, without knowing. He didn't know. It was haunted when we moved in. But that's where I started having all of my ghostly experiences. So a lot of these stories that you hear about like shadow men, Ouija boards, like all of that, all of my personal stories, they started when we moved into that house. And my dad told me while we lived in that house that he didn't believe in ghosts because he didn't want me to be scared as a kid. Then I just thought I was delusional. When I was like 18, he told me this story and I was like, you literally told me that it wasn't haunted.